Hey everyone, Blade Ninja 009, and this is my 33rd review on this channel, and that is of Dusk Maiden of Amnesia. I'll start off right by saying Dusk Maiden of Amnesia is probably one of my top 20 all-time romance animes out there. And I have to redo my top 20 because I'm thinking that I have a little over 20 anime that I consider in my top 20. And I think I'm pushing stuff out as, I watch more anime, of course, and I find more gets put into that list. So I gotta redo that one day. And I'll actually, if you guys want me to, I'll actually do a top 20 all-time, I think, my favorite anime, personally. If you guys want. If you don't, then I won't do one. But that's more so, because that's going to take a little more time to kind of do than my usual videos. But anyways, on to the review. So Dusk Maiden of Amnesia is a pretty simple ho-hum story at the beginning, where our main character, Taichi, is part of a paranormal society club in his high school. And what they deal with is kind of going around the school, looking at, phenomenon and all these kind of ghostly sightings of someone named Yuko. And lo and behold, Taichi actually ends up finding Yuko in an abandoned area of the school. And he's one of the few people that can ever see her. She's had other people that could spot her or so kind of see her, but he can actually fully see everything about her. And what becomes pretty early on, and this is not a spoiler, but what becomes early on is the kind of romance between, Taichi and Yuko, and how they have to deal with that, with her being a ghost, not of this earth anymore, technically, but of it still, and him being a full-bodied, blooded human. And I'll tell you right now, it's one of the show's best highlights, is how they do that romance. I tell you right now, the last episode, or excuse me, the second to last episode, because the last episode is kind of like an OVA, but the second to last episode is still, to this day, I've seen the show maybe 5 or 6 times, and it still gets to me. It still makes me kind of well up in tears just because of how beautiful it's represented. And I'll tell you, any anime that could do that, I think, is something that's special. An anime that can kind of fill you with emotions, any type of emotions, anger, sorrow, frustration, happiness, joy, anything. It's something amazing. And this show does it very well. It fills that kind of, I want to say, romantic need in a show very, very well. If I have to say, the weakest part of the show probably would be the animation. Sometimes it's meh. It's very generic kind of characters and design-wise. I mean, look at those two right there. It's not something you haven't seen in a dozen other anime. But, and I say this really thing, it's not something that you'll ever nitpick if you're actually watching the show, because you won't notice it. Again, as emotionally driven as this show is, the little nitpicks here or there almost kind of come off as not happening. It doesn't happen when you watch the show. If I had to say, also probably one of the other weaknesses of the show is it's over too soon. I'm being honest with you, I love the show. I wish it would have went on another 12 episodes. It only went on 13 episodes. And again, one of those being an OVA type episode. But, there is a manga for it. The manga is slightly different ending-wise. It's about the same kind of whole story up until the ending. The ending slightly differs, which I think actually makes a little more sense than the anime ending. But still, the anime ending has a better, I think, emotional kind of drive than the manga. So if I had to review Dusk Maiden of Amnesia A through F, I have to give it an A-. I actually, and this is not biased, I think the show is amazing. It's not something that everyone knows about, and it's something that I've talked to a few people, they do know about it, and they say, oh, they agree with me 100% on that score. Because I did pitch this idea to a few people early on, and I used to always say that it was, I think it's an A-quality piece, and they're like, oh yeah, we agree with you. So if you haven't watched this anime, and you love romance stories, I cannot suggest highly enough. Watch the show, you'll love it, you'll fall for it instantly. It's one of those shows that one episode in, I was hooked. Besides, even the supernatural elements are really good. It has some genuine horror, because it is a show about ghosts. There are a few episodes that were actually really creepy, and the way they were done were amazing. Like, for example, and this, again, not spoilers, but Yuko being a ghost is very easy to kind of manipulate in terms of anger. And you see at one point how that anger kind of manifolds and manifests in the world. And that's something I love about the show. It doesn't try too hard in any one particular area, and yet it's so great because the emotions, the characters are all very well done. The voice acting, both English and Japanese, is phenomenal. I'd say watch it in English just because I think the impact goes across a lot better than the Japanese dub. That's just me personally. But overall, again, A-. I think it deserves that all day long. It's a great show. And that's not just coming from Bias Point. That's coming from, I think, a realistic sense. It's a show that has a lot of depth to it, a lot of emotional strength, and that's something you can't say very much about a lot of anime nowadays. Anyways, guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want me to do a top 20 of my favorite anime, or you can even ask me to do a top 5 different of one genre in particular, like for example, we'll say harem or fantasy or action. I could do that too, but that's up to you guys. I won't do that without you guys saying, hey, we would like to see that, because that's a lot of work. And I actually have to do, then I have to go back and look through all the stuff I have to do, but don't worry about that. If you guys want it, just put in the comments and, Anyways, that's it for this review. Have a good one, everyone. Till our paths cross again in the next review, stay happy. I couldn't end this video, wow. I'm not going to edit this part out too, because I actually stuttered on my last staying that I've said already now, 33 videos in, I started with. Anyways, guys, have a good one. Bye.